I had Tatiana Suarez losing this fight. I don't know about anybody else. I had her losing this fight on clean strikes, submission attempts, and that's basically it. Suarez spent a lot of time with Lemos pressed against the cage, which stunk up the joint and did not inflict any damage to Suarez. Her having Suarez pressed up against the cage did not hurt Lemos. There was no damage and there was no threat of a submission in those moments. And I believe Suarez was given the fight because of those moments. Suarez's takedowns, she did not accomplish much with those takedowns. And even with the takedowns, even with her having Lemos pressed against the fence for all this time, she almost got submitted. What was that, the end of the first or second round? She almost got submitted. She was the one taking clean strikes, not only to the face, but also the leg kicks. There was a couple of those leg kicks almost made Suarez do a 360. So I thought Suarez looked bad. The only thing that I was sort of impressed with Suarez was her physical strength. I thought Lemos would be a little stronger against a Suarez than she looked in there. But I didn't like how Suarez was able to keep her pressed against the fence for such a long time. Then you look at the third round. The round that inspired my thumbnail. Suarez was taking clean shots to the face at the end of the third round. In this exact moment right here, she was getting clobbered square in the face by Lemos. And in some moments, out-wrestled, out-grappled by Lemos. Now, make no mistake, Suarez was winning the grappling. She had more moments when it comes to wrestling and grappling, which is what we all expected. But as you can see, she was unable to submit Lemos. She was even unable to threaten a submission. As far as a submission threat, Lemos had more success than Suarez. Just with that one submission attempt that she had. So I don't think we should award or reward pressing fighters against the fence and getting a takedown where you don't do anything with it. You don't accomplish anything. You don't inflict any damage. I was actually hoping that Suarez would look better than she looked here. I'm like, okay, if Suarez is going to win this fight, because I found out that she won it before I actually watched the fight. So the first thing I said, well, I hope she looked good winning, because Weili is gone. And we need another standout fighter. And I'm like, okay, if it's Suarez, if she's going to make a comeback, if she's going to bounce back, okay, she's had all this training. She's reached out to different people, new people, like Valentina Shevchenko after her loss to Weili Zhang. Okay, if we're going to see a renewed Tatiana Suarez, I'm all for it. But when I watched this fight, that is not what I saw. I did not see a renewed Suarez. Her striking, I thought, looked the same. She was making an attempt to land a 1-2. It wasn't landing. It just wasn't landing. And in the third round, Lemos really started teeing off on Suarez. Now, that's the crazy part. When the third round started, I said to myself, man, Suarez got to do something, because I got Lemos winning the first 2 rounds. Neither fighter did that much, but I thought Lemos did more than Suarez. Then lo and behold, in that third round, Lemos is throwing left, right. Then she teed off. That left-right was in the clinch to get Suarez off of her. Clean shots that you could see and hear. Suarez wasn't landing shots like that on Lemos. I mean, think about it. Suarez was not landing clean shots, and she had very few to no submission attempts. All she had was press against the fence time. Laying prey time. And at this moment, she need Lemos in the groin. And again, I don't know why these women don't wear groin protectors. They make them for women. This fight could have ended on that groin shot, man. We don't need that. We already don't have that many female fights on the card to begin with. We don't need y'all taking knees to the groin and having to stop the fight, or even changing the momentum of the fight. This could have been, had a negative impact on Lemos' performance. But it's totally up to them. I would suggest use the groin protectors. They make them for a reason. If I'm not mistaken, at least for a while, the Shevchenko sisters used to wear them. The men wear them. I don't know why women think it's cool to just go out with your bare groin just out there to take a knee or elbow or whatever it might take. But this was the most significant thing that Suarez did to Lemos. Knee her in the groin. So I was disappointed, man. I was disappointed. I always say, if you're going to win the fight, at least look good. I want you to look good winning the fight. And I did not think Suarez, first of all, I did not think she won the fight at all. I thought it was a close fight where Lemos did a little bit more. But on top of that, it was not a good looking victory. If we're going to say Suarez won the fight, fine. She did not look good winning the fight. one moment in the third round, it looked like she was about to get stopped. She was submitting to Amanda Lemos' firepower. Lemos started to tee off on Suarez in that third round, and there was no response, no counter strikes from Suarez. She simply turtled up and tried to weather the storm. And I'm talking about flurries where multiple of those shots were landing clean on Suarez. And those moments was when they were standing. In this moment that you see here, when Suarez was on her back, she was taking even more clean, flush shots right to the face. I had Amanda Lemos winning this fight. So another fight that I thought Lemos won, where the decision did not go her way. Now, let's move on to that other fight. And believe it or not, I got quite a few things to say about this fight. This girl, what's her name? Alicia, is 5'10". She's the same height as Melissa Croden. And she is what they call big for nothing. She was doing a whole bunch of running. What I saw was not really movement. That girl was running for no reason. Why are you running away when you are so much bigger? The smaller fighter is supposed to be running away from you. You're the one who's supposed to be putting the pressure on. But she was like running for no reason. Big for nothing. You're not even going to put pressure on the smaller fighter. You're big for nothing. So the fight starts. I see all this movement. And I'm like, okay, we're about to have one of those fights. But from time to time, she would be forced to actually fight. And when she actually had to fight, I realized why she was running so much. It is because she is not really a good striker. So you got a horrible foundation here. You got a poor offensive arsenal, and you run away a lot because of it. That's what it seems like. One of the worst aspects of her offense, I'm talking about Alicia, is the fact that she primarily wants to box. When her legs are as long as half of the cage, half of the mat. Her legs are ridiculously long. And she really was not using them. She primarily wanted to throw hands. Okay, fine. If that's how you want to operate, you better be cold with your hands. She is not. The biggest problem with her boxing from this seat is how she throws herself out of position after she throws them. She threw one punch, I kid you not. She threw one punch that was so off balance and awkward. She threw herself out of position so bad, she almost fell as a result of throwing herself out of position. She missed the punch, and then she had to brace herself because she threw herself so far out of position after throwing the shot. Her punches are clumsy. She throws windmills. She cots back, telegraphing her punches, and she's the one who primarily wants to box. I'm thinking to myself, okay, if you doing all this running, and when you do fight, the only thing you want to do is box, I expect you to have above average boxing. I expect your accuracy to be above average. It's not. I expect your speed to be above average. It's not. She has really below average striking, and you combine that with excessive movement, running? Why did y'all sign this chick? I mean, the bantamweight division, you can clearly see, is desperate. It's desperate for bodies if they signed this girl. I'm sorry. When I saw her, I had high hopes because I had not watched any of her fights. All I saw was her large frame, and I'm like, okay, bantamweight division, fingers crossed. I hope she is a good addition to the division. And you saw clearly she really got exposed by Montserrat Rendon. That moment when she was running away, I think it was the third round. It's the second or third round. Alicia started to just run. And as she was running, Rendon was chasing her, punching her in the process, clobbering Alicia as Alicia was running away. That was the worst part of the fight for Alicia. Do you have any idea how much of a coward you looked in that moment? Yes, she did. That's why as soon as she stopped running, what did she do? What did Alicia do after she took that beating? I mean, Rendon was teeing off on her. It looked like Alicia was about to be stopped because Rendon started to tee off on her. And as she was teeing off on her, she was chasing her. Alicia running. Alicia was trying to run away from the beating. And Rendon was chasing her and forcing her to take the beating as she was running. And as soon as Alicia stopped running, what did Alicia do? She started marching forward. She started walking towards Rendon, putting pressure on Rendon and throwing shots, which is what she should have been doing the entire fight. Who in the world is training this girl? MMA trainers, y'all, some of y'all are absolute garbage. Why would you train such a giant fighter to fight like that? Why would y'all do that? This big giant of a chick needs to be throwing more kicks with her crazy long legs. I mean, seriously, look at where her legs start. Her legs start almost at Rendon's torso. Her upper thigh is up here by Rendon's rib cage. Why aren't we seeing more teep kicks? Why aren't we seeing more kicks, period? Any kick that come from a chick with legs that long, you're going to have to get out the way. You're going to have to respect those legs. You're going to have to respect them. So, yeah, she primarily wanted to box, and her boxing is subpar. She has a major problem with throwing herself out of position after she throws strikes, as well as throwing windmills, cocking back with so many of those strikes. I don't see her being no top fighter in this division with striking skills like that. You know, I don't care if you are tall. I think, what is she, 5'10" or 5'11"? She's very tall. I think she's 5'10". Yeah, she's 5'10". And again, keep in mind, she's the same height as Melissa Croden. Compare her striking to Melissa Croden. It's like night and day. Even even if you're just talking about her boxing skills, compare her striking skills to Melissa Croton. And Melissa is not doing all that moving. She's not moving around like that. She's using her size more to her advantage, which is what you're supposed to do when you're 5'10". Now, this is a young fighter. Hopefully, she patches up these flaws. Right? How old is she? I'm about to look right now. Her name is Elise. I'm sorry, it's not Alicia. I was calling her Alicia. Her name is not Alicia. It's Elise Pereira. Elise Pereira. And she even has a Wikipedia. Let's check it out real quick. Let's check out her Wikipedia. This is her Wikipedia. She's a former kickboxer, which is surprising because I didn't see no kicks. I didn't see no kicks. This is her record? Wait a minute, who is this? This can't be her. What in the world? No, this is Aline Pereira. I'm sorry. Elise, here we go. Yeah, there's something wrong with that. No, I don't want to go to Shirt. I hate Sherdog. Sherdog, your website is garbage. I do not suggest anybody go to Sherdog. Okay, here's her record. Let's blow it up a little bit. I've not heard of any of her previous opponents. Right? Somebody in chat room said she had a padded record, and it sort of looks like she had a padded record. And they need to stop doing that. Stop giving these fighters the easiest possible fight just to pad their... Stop doing that. They announced the fact she was undefeated before the fight started. Well, that undefeated record doesn't really mean much if it's a padded record. And you can tell it was padded when she was running for dear life from Montserrat Rendon. Looking like, she's in a life or death fight. I mean, Montserrat Rendon looked like the Grim Reaper in there. You running, moving, running, and then she'll stop and throw a clumsy punch where she almost knock herself out of position, where she almost fall because she's so out of position. Man, that is horrible. Horrible. Y'all better work with this girl because she's huge, and ain't nothing worse than being big for nothing. In my opinion, she needs more core strength. When you throw yourself out of position like that, what that shit tells me more than anything is that you have a weak core. That's a huge problem. She's going to get countered like crazy. Somebody going to counter kick her square in the face. You going to throw one of them goofy punches and throw yourself out of position, man, your opponent's going to wave hi to their mom in the audience and kick you straight in the face. Going to have time to eat a bucket of popcorn and all that. You cannot have flaws like that. Now, wait a minute. This girl's said here to be 5'8". Is it 5'8" or 5'10"? Okay. Man, that is unfortunate. Well, let's check the UFC's website. I don't want to go to Sherdog, man. Sherdog, y'all got a horrible... Take some of them stupid ads off y'all's website, you idiots. Such a horrible experience on Sherdog. I want to give y'all the most... God, dog, this girl's only 19 years old. Wow. So that's good. That's a plus. Alice, listen. I know I'm giving you some harsh criticism. but you are a fighter, everything is going to be harsh. You get in there, this is a blood sport. So the criticism is going to be harsh, but it's the truth. You got to stop throwing yourself out of it. You better do more crunches, sit-ups. As tall as you are, you have a bigger frame to keep stable. Work on your back as well. Do more pull-ups. Work on your lower back strength and your core strength. You cannot afford to be throwing yourself out of position like that. And you really can't afford to be telegraphing your shots the way that you do either. Now, Sherdog has her at 5'8" as well. How about that? Now, did you see how big she looked in the cage? Look at how big she looked in the cage. Look at how tall she looked in the cage. And keep in mind that Melissa Croden is taller than her. I'm telling you, Melissa Croden is a flipping giant, man. And when you got a fighter that tall, who is also a sharp striker, you're going to have problems. You're going to have all kinds of problems. So as a 19-year-old, let me say, she has a lot of promise. The fact that she's 19, I think, warrants a little less criticism. Because my goodness, 19 years old, she has a lot of promise and a lot of time to correct these problems. In fact, being this young, it was probably a good thing for her to lose this fight. Just to let her know, you cannot operate like that against the very best fighters in the world. You just can't. You got to tighten up your game. Stop all that moving, first of all. There's no reason to be moving like that. You got a sick reach advantage and height advantage. Put pressure on your opponents. Don't just come out allowing them to put pressure on you. That's going to reduce the chances that you win a decision. And what is that going to look like? You lose a decision because your opponent was putting so much pressure on you, yet you towering over your opponent and you're much bigger than them. You can't afford to let that happen. So a lot of stuff that this very young fighter needs to learn. Fingers crossed, let's hope somebody comes along and, teaches her the right way to fight with a frame, the type of frame that she has. Right? Shout out to everybody. That's all I got. And I will see y'all on the next live.